Alright, in this video we're going to go ahead and cover a few things about bombing. We'll talk about the various delivery modes and look at it from the perspective of using both Jester and then also the RIO. And then we'll finish it up with doing some lofting. You can kind of check out how that works as well. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to quickly go over is the Jester options for employing air-to-ground munitions with Jester. And to bring up the menu, we'll go ahead and switch over to air-to-ground mode. And we'll wait for the HUD to stop blinking, and as soon as it stops blinking, we can go ahead and open the menu. So first option is selecting ordnance, and this is where you will get a list of all the ordnance that you can use in air-to-ground mode. For this first one, we're going to go ahead and select the Mark 82s right away. The next thing is, this is your toggle between computer target, which is similar to CCRP, or computer pilot, which is similar to CCIP. So if I go ahead and select it, you can see here now it says set computer pilot, whereas before it said set computer target. So we're going to go ahead and set it to computer pilot.
Okay.
And then we're going to set pairs. You can drop 2 at a time, one off each side of your pylons if you choose to do so, or you can leave this off and it'll allow you to drop them individually.
Copy that.
And then we're going to set our fusings. This one's pretty self-explanatory, but we'll go ahead and set nose tail. Ripple settings, this is where you would set your quantity and the time and or distance to denote how many bombs are dropped and the timing or the interval between each of the drops. We're not going to do that right now. And then this is where you go ahead and jettison your weapons. Again, we're not going to do that one right now either. So we're in air-to-ground mode. We're going to flip on our master arm. And since we are in computer pilot, which you can see I'm kind of underlining it in the center here, we are in the CCIP kind of mode. And it says we're dropping pairs with a nose tail fusing single step, and we're dropping Mark 82s. We'll go ahead and find our target, which is this smoke over here. And this one's pretty easy. You just need to dive at the target and put the pipper on it and hold the weapons release button. Before you dive, you're going to want to go ahead and set your wing sweep to bomb mode. And we'll do that in a second here. Gain a little bit of altitude so we aren't diving and then needing to pull up right away. Alright. Now we'll go ahead and go into bomb mode. We can watch our wings go back. And push the nose over. If you wanted to be super cool, you could roll over and pull. Go power idle. And you can see the pipper is lining up on that line. That is where we are going to drop. We'll go ahead and go for this one on the second column here. Pickle. And you can see we pretty much hit it right on the nose. And that's all there is to it. The only other thing you need to pay attention to is the pull-up cue. It is the 3-sided rectangle symbol that appears below your velocity vector and moves on up towards it. This symbol indicates that the aircraft is below the safe store release altitude when at or above the velocity vector. Okay, for this example, I'm going to go ahead and play the role of the RIO as well as the pilot. This way we eliminate Jester, and you can see how to do this if you are in the RIO position. You can set up everything for the pilot to go ahead and drop the bombs. And this one we're going to do computer pilot mode. So we'll set up the pilot first. And go to air to ground, master arm on. And then we come back to the RIO seat. And we'll just kind of explain this stuff here We have our weapon type selector. This is where you would select the weapon type that we want to use. In this case, we're going to use the Mark 82s. And then your attack modes. This is where you would set computer target if there was a designated target already and you wanted to fly straight and level over it and do a sort of CCRP attack, or pilot, which is the CCIP variant. And then we come over here to delivery mode. We have ripple, and we have the single and pairs. So we're going to make sure this is not in ripple. We're going to do single, we'll do pairs. And then we have our mechanical fusing. So you can do nose, safe, and nose tail. Over here is electronic fusing. We're not going to get into that right now. After that, we have our interval and our delivery options. We're going to go ahead and do 1 and 1 so that we only drop 1 bomb at a time, but since we are in pairs mode, we'll actually drop 2. And then you need to select the stores that you want to use. Now, in this setup, if I go to F2, you can see that we have the Mark 82s on the outer pylons on the wings. And underneath we have 84s and 83s that I just slapped on there. So we're going to go ahead and set these pylons to active. And that's it. We should have pretty much everything set that we need for the pilot to be able to go ahead and run his attack. So now I'll switch back over to the pilot. And I'm pretty sure our targets are way behind us now, so we'll go ahead and burn over there. Okay, so here's our target. We're going to go ahead and flip over to bomb mode. Wings sweep back. And then we're going to go ahead and roll in. We should see our pipper here in any second. Go ahead and pull up. We're kind of going a little fast there. There you have it. Everything was set up right. The bombs hit right where we wanted them to. That's that. Okay, for this one, we're going to do a drop with computer target mode on, and this is similar to CCRP. We'll be able to designate a target on the ground, fly straight and level over it, and release our bombs by holding the pickle button, and the computer will find the proper release point and go ahead and release them for us. So to set this up, we're going to go to air to ground mode, turn on our master arm. We're going to tell Jester to select our Mark 82s. Okay. We're going to go to computer target mode.
Roger that.
We're going to set our fusings.
Copy that.
And then we're going to set our ripple quantity. And we'll set that to 5 since we have 4 bombs. And then we will set our timer. We'll do 50 milliseconds.
Yes,
so now what we're looking to do is we'll move the designator, which is the diamond that is blinking right now on the bomb fall line. We can move it up and down, pressing VSL low and high. And you can see I'm pushing low now and it moves down, and I push high and it moves up. We're going to go ahead and place that on target where we want to drop our bombs. And then we're going to push PAL, which will go ahead and designate that target as the point of impact, or as the computed point of impact position. So we'll go ahead and move it down here. And as soon as we find a good spot, that looks pretty decent, go ahead and push PAL, and that designates that as the target. And we'll kind of come back around, do a little orbit to get ourselves lined up. And what'll happen is, on the bomb fall line, we will have 2 queues that will appear. One of them is a shorter horizontal line called the lower solution queue. And this queue tells the pilot, hey, you're about to be in position to drop a bomb. Go ahead and hold the pickle button, or the weapons release button. and press and hold it until you see the second line, which is a wider line, another horizontal line called the upper solution queue. And when that line crosses the velocity vector, it will go ahead and release the bombs. So when you see the shorter line pass through your velocity vector, you can kind of see them there on the left. The bottom one is the lower solution queue, and the upper solution queue is the longer one on the top. When they pass through your velocity vector, you're going to press and hold the weapons release, and when the upper solution queue passes through, the bombs will drop off the plane. So let's go ahead and turn in here. And this delivery mode is great, especially when you're at altitude. If you can designate a target really well, you can gain some altitude, get out of its range, and then just fly straight and level right over top of it, drop a bomb on it. You don't have to go through diving and putting yourself in danger. Okay, so we'll go ahead and line up our velocity vector with a bomb fall line. And we'll just hold this nice and level, flat and easy, and you can see the lower solution queue dropping, and as soon as it passes through the velocity vector, we press and hold weapons release, and I'm holding it now. And I'm not going to let go until the upper solution queue passes through like that. You hear the bombs fall off. You can see the bombs. There they go. And we'll go ahead and move out of the way over here. Turn back in so we can see the beautiful explosions that will occur. And there they are. I missed everything because I didn't have good placement. My lineup should have been much straighter, but you get the idea. Okay, for this one we're going to go ahead and do another computer target delivery. But this time I'm going to set everything up from the RIO seat, and we'll go ahead and actually do the attack profile to loft the bombs instead of flying straight and level over top of it. So first things first, pilot goes to air-to-ground mode, flip our master arm up, then we'll switch over to the RIO seat. And we'll do Mark 82s again. And now we're going to set the attack mode to target. And we'll do ripple this time. Singles. Nose to tail. We'll set our interval to... we'll do something like 400 milliseconds. And quantity, we have 4 bombs, so we'll leave them at 4. Turn our stores on. Now we come back to the pilot. The pilot's job is going to be to designate the target itself on the HUD. Since we're a little close, we're going to have to come around here. The hard part to this is designating exactly where you want to hit. That's pretty close. We're going to want to come in almost directly north on those guys to get the best profile here. So we'll go ahead and egress for a second. Okay, so while we're egressing a bit, I'll explain what we're going to look for and how this attack's going to go. So we're going to fly pretty low to the ground, and we're going to come in straight on the target, as straight as possible. The hope is that we nail multiple targets in a line with the ripple, but I don't know how that's going to go. We will see. And what you're going to look for is, as you're flying straight and level, low to the ground, as soon as you see the lower queue start falling down from the HUD, you're going to pull back, semi-aggressive, not super aggressive, but semi-aggressive, and you're going to pitch up so that your velocity vector is at 30 degrees. And you're going to hold the pickle button the entire time. And what'll happen is, right when you get to about 30 degrees, the upper queue will fall through the velocity vector and your bombs will come off the rail and they will loft their way over to the target. So now we're going to go ahead and turn in. We know that the target is roughly to the north. Okay, so here we go. Now as soon as we see that lower Q fall from the top of the bomb line, I'm going to go ahead and pull back about 30 degrees. You want to keep that velocity vector as lined up on that bomb line as you can. One of the reasons you might want to use lofting is to mask yourself behind some terrain. The range is pretty good depending on how fast you're going, but not always the best way or the most accurate way to attack something. So typically you would want to do this to mask your profile and make sure that you're not getting launched on before you have time to release the bombs. There it is. Pull back. 30 degrees. Hold it. They come off. There they go. And now we wait. Spacing was a little off, but you can see how effective that might be if we were to practice a bunch and really understand the spacing. And that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope this answered a lot of questions about the different ways to bomb and different attack profiles you can use and different targeting methods. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you have any suggestions for future quick tip episodes, go ahead and leave that below as well, and I will continue to do these as long as you guys like them and need them. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.